Man, you too close for me to catch you off guard.
I'm subject to the shenanigans.
Yeah, you too goddamn close for me to catch you off guard. Man, it's getting warm in here, Sonya.
What you mean?
Because I got this goddamn hoodie on.
And you was just doing too much?
I wasn't doing too much. I ain't even started the shenanigans yet. But look, I want to start this podcast
about how he
throwing some flowers, right? I know. I'm one of the men that's willing to own up when I'm wrong. If you never see, that's what I'm trying to get you to learn. Learn from me, because I can always admit when I made a mistake in a situation. I think in this podcast, you bring out in me the guy that I am regularly with you that I don't most times show on this podcast when I'm by myself. Like from the goofiness to being able to be express myself in an educated way, in a way that it doesn't seem like I'm just shooting the shit. But you bring that out of me. And I think over the last few months, I brought the podcaster in you. I did it that way. Is it in a way?
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
No, just turn it.
Oh, okay. I think vice versa, I've done that for you as far as making you feel comfortable on the podcast. Because early on, I believe, when you talk, you were a little nervous. But last episode, we left off the episode arguing on the podcast. And she ended the podcast. And I explained to her after the episode that we have the potential to help people get through tough situations that maybe we didn't have anyone to look up to early on in our relationship. And I think sometimes we have to use our position to better help relationships, whether marriage or just girlfriend and boyfriend.
But I don't want to be nobody's role model or nobody look up to me. Because as soon as we don't do something right or something happen, they be like, oh, the Johnson's having trouble. I don't want to be nobody's role model. That's not what I signed up for. Just like the podcast. You asked me to be on it as like a special guest. And then you asked me to keep coming back. But this was your thing. You created it. You wanted it to be what you wanted it to be. From everything. It's not my podcast. It's yours. I'm just here. Supporting you.
So you don't think this podcast is potentially supporting yourself?
In what ways?
Like, from the standpoint of, I think this week was tough for you. It's from the, like, this is like therapy. I use this podcast sometimes for therapy, specifically when it comes between me and you. I can't be so self-minded that I can't allow my ego to not recognize what's beneficial and what's harmful. Like, I'm not just saying being a role model. Sometimes you can be a role model in a situation where it's needed, and then sometimes you can be giving out too much information to the point where folks are just being nosy or looking to pry. And the one thing I've always done, that's why when you just made that statement, I believe sometimes you don't recognize exactly who I am and what I'm doing. Just listen to me for a minute. I'm going to get to that point because you think I'm going left. But I've always preached over the last almost 20 years that I would never succumb our relationship to some negativity, or I never put too much information out for people to be nosy and or just prying out our business.
Okay, but you said as therapy, I can't shoot this shit and say what I really want to say sitting here on your pod because you worried about your algorithms and all that. I don't care. if I'm having therapy, I want to say what I want to say and how I want to say it. That's what I'm saying. So it's therapeutic in a way for you to express how you feel, talk about topics, and do things like that. If it was my part, I'll just get on here and just be like having conversations, like talking. I wouldn't have all the extra, like talk about this, talk about that. I'll just be talking about life stuff if it's therapy for me. That's what I'm saying. I can't sit here and be like sitting with you and be like, yeah, this week was stressful. You know what'll be good? To be like chilling, doing whatever I feel like doing, and to just be like out of nowhere. Yeah, so I was looking at something, and this dude, y'all, oh my gosh, dick was real big, like real big, and the girl was small. Like, how would you feel if some random dude come out of nowhere, whip out this big ass dick on you? Like, what you gonna do? What's the first option? I can't just sit and be doing stuff like that with you.
But then you're saying that, like, you make it seem what I keep hearing you say is, this is yours. And what I'm trying to get you to say is, when I win, you win. So this is our thing, because I don't benefit by myself off this podcast, and I know that for a fact. The money that I go in, it don't come to me. It go to us. Whether you realize it or not. So what I'm telling you is, there's value that you bring to this podcast. I may not tell you the value, but transportation don't run on air.
But so, no, I'm saying, if I bring value, why wasn't I brought on? Why wasn't this an us thing to begin with? It was you. See, that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't about us and the value of what I bring, what you bring, and us bring together. This podcast was for strictly you. Strictly you. Even down to your merch and stuff like that, it's strictly you. That is you. My name isn't MTMJ. I support the brand because yes, you. But this is, when it comes down to like the thought process and everything, you was doing this by yourself. You was. I wasn't a thought of being in it with you.
That's what I'm saying. You spending too much time focusing on the was and not the now.
Why did you want to add me on the podcast now?
Because I explained this to you multiple times. This gives us an opportunity to bond more and spend more time together.
So you just
and also talk about the things. See, you basing my vision for this podcast based off of previous situations, and the vision was fitness oriented for
a while.
But
it's still the same name in it, is what I'm saying.
No, the name has changed though. The name wasn't MTMJ Fit Podcast at first. It was M. The Motivator Johnson presents Fit Talk and Motivation. So the name has changed.
It's still the same narrative, but okay.
But see, I think, like, this is a deep conversation, but I think sometimes with the female, because we even struggle with on this about getting a house. Like, you didn't want to get a house if you couldn't put your name on it. So you would potentially rather see us just spending tons of money to benefit somebody else, versus, okay, if he's in position to make us better, why not me support him in that and not have no, it's like, when you talk like that, it comes from like a selfish mentality. It's not like, oh, I'm doing this just to benefit you, not because I want to do it. I'm just doing this because it benefits you. I'm not doing this because, so when you come out and you say you start a podcast talking about I fired you, what that tells me is no, the conversation didn't go that way. It's basically like, I don't like the way things work. It doesn't work to my benefit. my name isn't on it, so it doesn't benefit me. But that's not how a relationship works. Because when you do Sonyacomfortfood, I don't sit back and I don't say, well, that don't benefit me. You spend an X amount of time feeding other people, and I should be getting all that. I don't say that. But as a marriage, I could say that, but I don't even think that way. I support you in every single thing, and I never go into it with the mindset, okay, because my name isn't on it. See, when you explain the reason you made that face. See, you really be missing the point, though. You like think.
I'm not missing the point.
Look,
I'm not missing the point. I hear what you say. I did it because I know it's going to trigger you. But
it's not triggering. We talking.
Yeah, as soon as I made that face, it triggered you. It did.
Because I constantly sit back and I think, like when I told you I can go to multiple people and get an impact statement and they can speak to my character and who I am, like, it's the truth.
Whoever questioned it.
I mean, in so many words, that's what you're doing. You making it seem like, okay, I went into this podcast platform. This podcast was based off of when I started to do personal training, COVID hit. So I needed to try to find a way to still benefit from being able to know that I'm a personal trainer, but also talk to people because we wasn't really able to do anything. At that moment, you wasn't into podcasting. And it was clear. I can even go as far as to say, behind the scenes, it takes weeks for you to accept stuff that I tag you in. And sometimes it don't even happen. That's why I say sometimes actions do speak louder than words. That's why for a long time I called you a hater. And regardless if you don't think you're a hater, you gotta also look deep and see why that impression could be possible.
But it's the question, why would you call your spouse a hater?
That's the same thing. Why would you say to your spouse that I'm only on a podcast because you asked me to, not because I really want to do it. I'm just here.
I'm telling you said something to me about being on it. I never had any interest on a podcast. You said something to me about being on it. Because when you started your podcast and I was asking questions, giving input, you was feeling some type of way. Whenever I say something and I'm being truthful, you're saying I'm a hater. It's not a hater. Just because you're my husband doesn't mean I like everything you put out. Just like vice versa. So why am I a hater? If it's my opinion.
It's one thing to be the uber critical, but you're not doing nothing to really help.
You don't want to say none of my input. It's always Sonya. What about why? I just asked a simple question, or I asked if you thought about this or that, and then you just be like you shrug it off. So what more should I say?
But like I was explaining to you, there's a cost associated with just constantly changing the name. I mean, I didn't just sit there and just say it. Like, there's a behind the scenes thing that I have to look at. If I keep changing the name, that changes the name on 10 to 12 to 13 to 14 things.
But this is the first time you explained that to me. When I was just asking you a question, you could have said all of that. That's all I was saying.
But that's just not, like, that's not one of the critiques I'm talking about, Bo. I say, like, you say you support me, but in the mindset, like, you don't get the purpose of the podcast. I mean, why I brought you on. It's almost like you don't think you have a how do I say it? Like you say, you don't want to be a role model. No, you're right. Everybody don't have to be a role model, and I'm not in the business of forcing you to do something that you necessarily don't want to do. But I do think you got a message. And my job as a husband is to motivate you to be the best you possibly can. And I just think, okay, being a co-host on our podcast could potentially. I mean, you need to see your name on the podcast to feel like you're a part of the podcast.
Nope.
So then what?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So then what? You said, well, this isn't me.
Say what I want to say, how I want to say it, and not care about you saying.
I haven't
that's
said.
Gonna mess up, because I don't say it.
I haven't said anything about it.
Because I don't say it.
I was asking you every week that I brought you on the podcast. I said, "Son, do you have anything you want to talk about?"
I don't have topics like that. I just want to talk. That's what I'm saying. So
I'm not stopping you from talking, but talking is about also making sure when you talking, I can have a position into it. I can't just sit here for 30 minutes that I let you vent. I mean, that I watched you vent about the Instagram algorithms, and I really didn't have nothing to say to it because I warned you. I warned you what it was. You be, I tell you, sometimes you really don't be acting like I know enough. I be warning you about some of the things.
But my thing, the way you feel about it and the way I feel about it is completely different.
What that mean?
I don't care.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's a lie.
What?
Because when you say you don't care, and then that vent tells me it did bother you.
No, not care in a sense of, like, my thing was, I don't like when people bully other people, like, the situation. Like, you can say whatever you want to say, but when you're sitting here, we talk about topics, things like that. Like, now, we're just having this conversation, right? We're just having a conversation. We have a debate, whatever. We're just talking, right? Just going with the flow with it. I don't want to feel scripted. That's it.
But see, that's what I'm saying. How can you not want to feel scripted, but you used to complain about me rambling? Rambling is a form of not being scripted.
But babe, you was rambling from one place to another place and never came back full circle.
That's exactly what you just said. That's what non-script is.
But you gotta come back on your topic and touch on it.
Okay, then there is a script to it then.
No, it's not. It's having a full conversation.
You have to come back to your topic and discuss it. So that just says, okay, if you start a topic scripted, even if you ramble, you gotta eventually circle back to where the where the topic started at.
When you rambling, just talking about stuff, and then you like, oh yeah, what I was saying to clear that, because you leave open-ended like what was going on. I'm saying I don't want to have to be scripted all the time. I don't.
You want to know what you're talking about when you go into the episode a little bit, though. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's even if you did a podcast on your own. If you go back and watch it and you just sitting there constantly shooting the shit, you gotta find some shit to relate to other people. Yeah, we ain't gotta be no marriage therapy counselor, but at the same token, there's some shit we can talk about. If that's not what you want to talk about, we don't have to. I'm not like forcing you. I ask you every time. Like sometimes we go into an episode and I don't know. I'm blacked out and then it just comes to me. But I do ask you. I do take your input.
Like we clearly sit in the bed and have random conversations. Pillow talk. We just be talking about stuff, having fun. That's what I'm talking about. And it's not what we do here. When I say change up this setting or where we pod and do certain things, you like, well, this, I gotta move all this, you know what I'm saying? So what's...
You right.
No, I'm not. That's why you laughed it off. I'm playing music.
You hear it, boo?
It's low.
You hear it.
You don't hear it at all?
Not in my headphone. That's wrong with it. Welcome to another episode of MTMJ Fit Podcast with the wife. I am your motivator and your personal trainer. Right now, she cooked this bomb-ass meal. Hey! She crushing hers, though. I know we started the podcast a little deep, but I told you we was going to come back. She get on my nerves sometimes, but I love her to death.
Why you ain't mix your food up?
I don't know. Man, we celebrate lives right now. King's Disease 3. My wife is not a fan of Nas, right, babe?
Nope.
Why you not a fan of Nas?
Nah. He got some songs that's nice, but he's not a...
Look, I played the car. I played it in the car, right? She said it's not a bop.
You cut what I was listening to.
I definitely did, because I was driving. Hey! Hey! You gotta hear it in your ear, though, boo. It changed the vibe. You ain't heard it yet.
I'm listening.
He's speaking that real life shit. I think we all.
There's nothing wrong with me. I just not somebody be like, oh, I want to listen to Nas.
Yeah, that's just like Wale. I think they say Wale sometimes is too poetic, right? But hey, everybody ain't gotta listen to Shake That Ass all the time. Let's get it.
They don't.
See, that's rich people shit. If I was in a hotel, I'd wake up on some white linen sheets. When we was them white linen sheets in that spot we went for our anniversary?
If they was, they turned into semen sheets.
So you gotta make them sweat. Don't be scared now. Don't be scared now. Hell. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give them hell. Like that.
Jeremy.
You don't just wake up every morning and just be like, fuck, I'm gonna go to work and get these niggas hell. I'm gonna put my best me on. I don't care if I'm feeling like shit. You don't ever wake up like that? I wake up like
That's how you gotta get through your day.
Sometimes I go in that motherfucking restaurant, man, like, man, I'm gonna kill these motherfucking mean, angry looking people with kindness. I'm gonna give them a smile even when they frowning. No? You don't get like that too? What do you do to get to a work day when you don't feel like being there?
What you said?
You sure?
I'm not gonna sit there with my face frowned up or nothing.
No. You know,
especially now that we ain't with masks. When I had masks on, you can see them eyes.
Some niggas do. Hey! Hey!
Like this.
Watch this. Hit a vibe. Watch
I thought it was going somewhere.
It's going somewhere.
No.
Hey!
No.
You gotta listen to the message. Sometimes it's not always about the beat. Hey! Blacker than Black Panther 2. Nobody. She said she thought it was going somewhere. You ain't think it never went somewhere? I remember waking up, not wondering where my next meal was gonna come from.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I do. See? It's gotta, sometimes music is therapeutic for the soul, because you can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that booty shaking music all the time, though. But hey, whatever.
You make it seem like that's all I listen to.
Look. Hey. 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 Hear that shit. Hey.
Some chapstick.
Come on. Tell me that wasn't a vibe.
No, it was not a bad song.
Oh, God. I said, tell me that was not a vibe. She had to slick some damn hate in there. It wasn't such a bad song. That's some bullshit. All right, we done after this. We're going to get into the episode. Let's go. Hey. Ho, ho, ho. Do you remind me? Shout out to Mary J. Hey. Uh-huh. Uh-oh. I think I got a little bit, y'all. She started doing one of these. So I got something. From wings to hot sauce. Relatable. You like wings with hot sauce?
But he said he went from wings and hot sauce to raw fish.
You know, we had raw fish. Sushi. That's what he means.
Raw fish.
Hey.
You the one with the smoked salmon. I'm not even mad.
Hey. Hey.
That's why you be quick.
Hey.
What the hell is this?
Do you remind me? Bump this. Bump that shit. I'm only strong as my circle. Hey. Oh. High as me. You hear that?
You know what
King's disease too. He talking about alkaline. Now he talking about getting high. Hey, it's legal, bitch.
And sucking dick.
I don't know about that.
He said SMD.
Hey. Hey.
Over here busting a sweat. Doing too much.
Hit it.
Hit what?
Put them fucking guns down. We need to respect life. Hey.
Shit.
Shout out to Mary J. We gonna play this shit out. Look. It's almost over. Hey! He got a message. He got a message at the end. I need him to hear this. Hold on, how they do it? How they do it?
No.
Ain't that how they do it?
No.
Ain't that what they call drill music, drill dancing?
Oh, he get a little woo.
I got her. Hey. You ain't know it was going here, did you?
Oh, that's sad.
Reminisce.
He was being silly and wasn't thinking about love. And when he thought about it, it was too late. That's why they divorced.
Yeah, him and Khalees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sucks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Alright, man. So, look, since the last episode, the Mario.
We gonna pick up from the last episode.
We picked up.
No, we didn't.
We gonna finish.
We did not pick up.
Can we get this little part out the way?
I don't care about her.
This ain't about her. Okay. She don't want to talk about that. Okay, so we're going to pick up from where we left off at.
So why was you excluding me?
I answered that question. You said it. You answered the question. You said I wasn't into podcasting.
No. What we left off at was you partaking with your friends and females being there or their girlfriends, and you was excluding me. That's when I left the pod.
Oh, shit. Not again. God, I thought you would have forgot that. I explained. That wasn't... Oh, you talking about at the Pink House. You ain't talking about just in general.
That's where you was at mostly.
I explained to you. How long has it been since I've been to the Pink House?
Michael, we was having a conversation.
We're going somewhere.
About how long has it been since you've been to the Pink House?
How long?
Michael, how old is Alex? 4? 5? So about 6, 7 years?
So it's been 6, 7 years, right? I could see where there was a potential problem with me going to the Pink House. Because about 6 or 7 years ago, I was working like a Hebrew slave. And I never had the downtime to do anything with my friends or whatnot. So every now and then I would go to the Pink House on the weekend, thinking that I was chilling with my boys. I didn't believe that I should call my wife, even though my wife knew where I was going, and then telling her that, oh, babe, females showed up at my boy's house. I'm sorry, I didn't invite you. Ooh, you like how
That's what you want to go with? Okay.
Ooh. You like how I did that?
But that's what you want to go with.
That's not what I want to go with. That's exactly what happened.
It's not what happened. When you got there.
Oh, so when I got there, I was then supposed to pick up the phone.
No.
And call my wife and tell her, oh man, babe, there's females.
No. You know the friends that you have. You know what they do. You know who they are. You know it's always going to be a female there. You know it.
You doing all that. I don't know nothing in the moment. I'm not supposed to use past experience for the experience that I'm having at that moment. And you say what to that?
This topic ain't gonna get nowhere because it was about what happened in the last episode, and you said you thought I was gonna forget, but it was to be the point of why.
Shit, damn near scared. We back. Damn near scared to push the record button. Y'all should have seen her motherfucking face when we was taking a break. Shit. Okay, now what was you saying, babe? So now I'm back. I'm ready. Now what was you saying?
Oh, you back and you ready?
Yeah.
You trying to make it seem like I'm saying when you get there and you see females there, you supposed to call and let me know. No.
That's what you're saying.
What I am saying is there has been situations, events, whatever, that we weren't invited to, but you would not tell me.
Like what?
What you mean, like what? Parties, gatherings, the chill. And then your famous thing is Sonya. Your attitude, or what was your famous thing? Other than my attitude, I don't know what to say out of my mouth. So you get to say, you know what? Nah, I ain't gonna invite her, but I'ma come. And then I'm not gonna tell her, but then she gonna find out. And then your excuse is, oh, when I got there, I didn't know. You already knew. There's a 99, like a DNA test, a 99.99%
not that high.
that a female.
It's not that high.
I'm gonna keep these on there.
Yeah, please. Please don't get so triggered that you end the podcast again. Let's get our shit off. Okay, you say there's a 99% chance that I knew leading up to it that there was going to be females there?
Yep. And I ain't trying to go into too deep detail because I ain't going to name names. Just leave it alone. Where we are today is now that we have children and he works the opposite of what everybody else do. It's rare that we are ever able to partake in couples things with couples. And it's not like we can't. But my husband, it's just going to be a fact to put out there. It's embarrassing of me. You going to answer?
Hey, I think women sometimes catch goddamn amnesia. What the hell?
You want to answer?
Oh my God, no, that's toxic. No, I'm not. And you know what's so funny about that? I'm not even offended that you would even think that. I'm just gonna let you. I'm just gonna let you have that. You know why? Because in your little mind, you believe that I'm embarrassed to bring her around.
So why you ain't bring me around?
For a long time.
Let's hear the story.
For a long time, and these are the type of conversations I have with grown men, not boys. For a long time, there were a slim amount of couples. There was a slim amount of people that were married, and I thought those situations were toxic, right? So I didn't want to go nowhere with them and bring my wife. So I wouldn't go. So while
you wouldn't go.
So while she's painting a narrative in a phase of my life where there was a certain level of immaturity. These things that she's speaking of is prior to me turning 30. I've always had a certain level of maturity for a long time, but specifically as it relates to dealing with how the spouse reacts to certain things versus the girlfriend. Yeah, that took some growth and that took some intelligent learning. But to say that I'm embarrassed to be seen with my beautiful dark-skinned wife, right? That's toxic.
That's toxic.
And that's her.
Like dark skin, you know, I don't like my complexion.
I believe your black beauty is beautiful. Right? I'm not gonna let the small mind of your brain that says I'm embarrassed to see. Because again, I've said this before and I say it again. There can be multiple victim impact statements that I can get that contradicts every fucking thing she just said. As far as it relates to me being embarrassed. You know how often the young people that are involved in my daily activity at work say, man, your wife is amazing. Your wife is beautiful. Your wife's skin is nice. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, yeah, you know that. Mm-hmm. That's like hands up at night. So the shit that she thinks in her small-minded brain doesn't have anything to do with me. You say what to that? The fuck? Yeah.
You feel some type of way?
You shitting me. Yes, I did.
A little salty.
The fuck?
A little salty. Prime example.
Oh, shit.
So we taking it back. So, we young. He decide, because we bad, I guess, beefing. that he ain't gonna call and check on me.
Oh, hell no.
So,
No, the
I
hell
pull up
you
and
not.
walk away,
Oh,
and he out
shit.
there in the bitch face. What happened?
I ain't about to tell you what happened. I know what happened. This is your story. I didn't bring it up. I'm not about to bring it up.
I'm just saying,
That's
this was the stuff that you would do knowing how I am. Why put yourself in a situation like that?
Let me tell you something about that day. I'm not going to bring no names up, but someone told me to take my ass home. Once they saw that car hit the corner, my cocky ass just stood there. And she learned me a new one. That's all we gonna say about that story.
What topics we got, babe?
Anyway, man.
I guess that's why I ain't get invited places.
That's a motherfucking crazy in love. The fuck? Alright, look. In 2020, they did a population poll, right? And that population poll determined that there was 712,800. I know 816 people in the District of Columbia, right? That was last year. I'm sure now it's probably...
No, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. I know now it's probably close to 1 million at least, right?
Because they got the hood, they done tore down the hoods, got them out, and moved them into Virginia, moved them... God damn. That is embarrassing.
No, this ain't it though. Give me a minute.
I was just looking at how the numbers was moving like it was going to do something for somebody else. Hey, that's embarrassing.
No, give me a minute.
But if they're talking about just Washington, D.C. population as a whole, and not Maryland, Virginia, you know, they try to group shit, that damn DMV. The DMV is where you go to get your license, registration, tags, and stuff. God damn it. Keep trying. Clusterfuck stuff. So what was you going about the numbers to do?
There's a point. There definitely is a point, boo. And I had my response to that, but for some reason, when I when I went back to it, recalibrated, they messed me all the way up. But the recalibration basically showed the final results of the latest mayor
poll?
Yeah, the election, right? And I'm only saying this to say that only 40% of the District of Columbia residents voted, right? It's probably 40, 80, a third. Yeah, a third of DC residents voted.
Out of that 700 and
out of that,
well, it's probably,
I'm sure it's close to 1 million now. So that's why I say a third.
Oh, okay.
And when you saw this number, you would have been like, "Oh fuck," right? What? That's what you would have thought. What the hell is going on? Hopefully it's pull up. Here we go. I think this will give us what we want, boo.
You got it in DC.
Yeah, but this speaks to what you were saying.
About 75% can't vote.
Damn, man. Them bastards. They ain't even trying to give me the numbers again, boo.
That just goes to show what I was saying.
They hating like shit.
I ain't want to talk about it. Yeah.
They hate like shit, boo. You didn't want to talk about it. That is true. Alright, anyway. You see that shit? They so pressed to try to get me to try to pay $1 to subscribe that they don't want to just let me see what I saw. Something told me to take a picture of it.
I was say you should have.
But anyway,
shot.
Out of 380,000 people voted total.
Okay.
Out of the 380,000 people, Mayoral Bowser had 251,000.
Okay.
Red Grant had 58,000.
Okay.
Stacy, whoever she is, had 25,000. And the final person had 16,000.
Okay.
Why the hell do you got almost 1 million people in the District of Columbia, and only a third of those people voted?
But you got to factor. They're counting kids. Kids can't vote. Okay, so you got to
so
factor that in.
So that's going to eliminate probably 200,000.
Okay.
Oh
and
shit!
Then,
at the rate these hood rats are having babies, maybe 300,000.
You got kids, and then the hood rats, Jesus. Then you have a lot of felons.
Okay.
They can't vote.
But I thought there was a program set in place.
Did they go?
Do they want to go?
Then you have it.
Are they taxpayers?
There you have it.
Are they hoodwingers?
But you're answering your own question. So there you have it. I'm going to vote for you, dog. Yeah. And you got my vote. Damn. Can't even vote. This man counting on your vote. All 600 of y'all that was just sitting there shooting the shit. And out of the 600, 3 of y'all can legally vote.
So I've been watching Red Grant. You know, when you take an L, they expect you to just come out and take that L. They say it looks good. It looks good for image.
He hit the Trump. He doing a Trump.
No, he came out and did it.
Oh.
He did it 2 days ago.
Oh.
The election was a week ago.
So what? He did it.
He lost for 4 days.
But he did it. That's all that matters. It don't matter when he did it. He did it.
But let me tell you what's going to come out of this, right? I do believe that Mayoral Bowser is going to take some of the things that Red Grant highlighted in his campaign rally about improvement government
and the teachers and stuff
and all that stuff. And I'm hope she takes that stuff and she really listens to it. But when it comes to gun violence, that's the next topic. I think people just need to we don't do a good enough job respecting life. We don't do a good enough job respecting our life. What I told you about treating people with kindness, even though they treat you with shit. For example, I'm in front of the restaurant the other day and I'm just chilling, right? The one thing my grandmother always told me is when you stare too hard at people, that's rude, right? And if you stare too hard at people, you gotta be able to accept
whatever they say.
So, some set the scene. You know, I work at the movies too, right? A couple weeks ago, the same person was trying to sneak in the movies with one of those downtown trash cleaning people. Cold disrespectful. I asked him where they were going. He said he was going to the bathroom. After they left out the bathroom, he proceeded to try to walk through the theater area. I said, sir, no, you can't do that. He's like, who the fuck are you? I said, sir, I'm security. So I said, sir, you cannot do it. See, that's the problem. You's a dick licker.
Woo! Hey, 22, 23-year-old Mike.
I'd have stolen the shit out of his ass. I'm a dick licker. Right? I said, sir, how am I a dick licker for doing my job just like you clean that trash up on the street? Oh, he really got mad then. So I see, I knew you sucked dick. I said, how am I sucking dick because I'm doing my job? So I see, you just like sucking a whole dick. A whole dick. And this is no joke, right? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you go suck dick outside. You have a great day. So he proceeds to continue to tell me why I suck so much dick, right?
How you doing, man?
What? I don't know.
Suck dick.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm like, okay. Fast forward to this day. The female that was trying to sneak in, she really wasn't saying shit. He did all the talking. They just went on about their business, laughed while I was laughing. I see her outside, right? She is riding that scooter like her life depends on it, right? Just phew, 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 right? Just keep going back and forth in front of the restaurant. I am standing there, minding my business, listening to a podcast, right? She then makes her third roundabout. I'm like, shit, what the fuck you looking at? That's what I said to her. I wasn't looking, baby girl, you was looking at me. What the hell you talking about? There's nothing to see here, right? She's like, fuck you mean, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dang, why are you so angry? All I asked you is what you was looking at. So she convinced to start doing all that. I said, man, if you don't go get your 3 kids and go home. 5 minutes later, she is scooting past. Her baby daddy comes by with the 3 kids. It is freezing outside. They are shoplifters. That's why she remembers me. Because I stopped her ass from shoplifting. Swear to God.
You be in the way.
Only reason I knew that because she came, this little midget lady with face deforms and she looked like a skeleton walking the street.
Shit out of you.
But she also has a baby, and they look alike. They look like twins, but it's super little. They then walk up, hug me. I'm listening to the podcast.
The little people?
No, she wasn't. The mother's not little, but the baby is still a baby. It's about Alex's age.
Oh, I'm thinking of because I know you scared of little people. That's why I was like.
But what I'm saying is, it looked like someone set a lighter to parts of their body and face.
Oh.
The mother's like that, and the child's like that. Oh. So it's some type of skin. But the problem is, those 2 are thieves, including the baby.
Oh shit!
And that one was with them the day they was trying to run out the store with Pampers.
Oh my God!
And I knocked the shit out their hand when they was walking out the door.
Oh my God!
This was during Christmas 2 years ago. So then I was like, ah, shit. That's why that bitch was that's why that lady was looking at me.
That's why that bitch.
Yeah, that's why that bitch was acting crazy. Because I could have potentially put her and her kids in jail.
I thought she was going to say, she zoomed back past with the scooter, said something, then went back and came past and you like threw a rock or something.
Yeah. So look, this is the last topic. We don't talk a lot. Let's see what we got going here. Oh, that's not bad. So look, how do you feel about sexual harassment in the workplace? I think the Dan Snyder situation just opened the door to how bad companies and the industry is struggling with men sexually harassing and making sexual advances at females that don't want that sexual advance. And then not caring even their age. So how you feel about that, boo, as a woman?
The crazy thing is, I've been, I guess, lucky enough to not even be in the position of having a lot of, like, male coworkers. Because that's what you're saying, like, the employee to employee type situation, not employee to a patron customer.
I got a story.
So, I think, at the end of the day, people take it too far. But also...
Can I stop you? What is too far?
Like...
For you.
There was a thing where people who have, like, the work husband, the work wife, you know, little stuff. Take lunch, do little things, you know, stuff like that. Look out for each other. But now you got it where the work husband, work wife, then you got the side piece, the janitor. Like, people be doing too much. Like, the touchy feeling PDA type situation. Like, you're doing too much. Or the public display when they get the, you know, like, come on now. Or you got the dick suckers. Looking for the promotion, snitching, you know, doing stuff, trying to get in with the boss. And then when shit go left, then all of a sudden it's a me too.
So let me ask you
this, wasn't a me too when you was the one doing the shit. That's what I'm saying. People sensitive about stuff.
Let me ask you this then. Based off of, I'm glad you brought that up. How do you feel about the ones that was trying to do it to get some type of career advance and then claim that they being sexually harassed?
I think those motherfuckers need to get the shit slapped out of them. Because, bitch, you probably the one that started it, engaged into this shit, and then once they show some advancement to what you was doing, and then when they try to cut it off and stop it, like, nah, we can't, then you want to be the victim. Nah. I'm saying where the creep shit is if we was working together, co-workers or whatever, and I was like, Cause you have females that do shit like this, be like, damn, you look good. Even though they think men are the ones that do it. But it's the presentation. Like, I can be like, oh yeah, Mike, you look good today. Then another day, I'm like, damn, Mike, you looking good. You can tell there's a difference. But then you have people who do little slick stuff, be like, oh, you look good. Then they get to touch it. You know, when it's the unwanted advancements, that's when you have a problem. Because, and then you can't say somebody's feelings or how they go about it isn't invalid. It's invalid because that's how they felt. But if I made advancements to you and you're the CEO and you turn me down, okay, cool. You turn me down, damn. Only thing I can do is go on and do my job. But if stuff happened with now my hours are cut when I was working or whatever, then I'm going to feel some type of way because it's like you punished me because I came at you. But then I got to be like a whistleblower. But if I advance at you and you initiate back to me as if this is what we can be doing and we do something that's basically like consensual type thing. But in some instances, if you decide to back out and like, nah, can't do this no more, ain't gonna do this no more, I may be mad in my feelings and be like, well, if you gonna carry me and do me like that, this company going down. And that's what people get out of it.
Alright.
But you mess yourself up in the end as well.
Well, in this situation, right, set the scene. On Friday, this particular manager was seen in one of the bars with a female who had implied at the restaurant. The female was hired and didn't show up for her shift that day, but popped up with him at the bar when he got off on Friday. At the time, it didn't raise any red flags until someone brought the red flags to me. So I said, oh, okay, right? So then on Sunday, the accuser approaches me and asks me my opinion. You know how the wholesale flies are and how they look at me. They look at me from like the father, uncle type of guy, right?
Oh, you said the host. I was
Yeah, one of the hosts. One of the hosts. The host. You know how they look at me in there, right? So I'm watching the game. Host walk up to me. It's like, Mike, I gotta ask you something. I think this manager is being a little extra with his comments towards my body. He was like, I'm leaving out and he makes a comment about my titties. So I was like, oh, for real? What do you say? She was like, he just keep making comments about the size of my titties, right? And in that moment, I normally would joke with her when she made that statement. So this time, I have a thing, right? Your facial expressions can tell me one thing, but your eyes can never tell me different. Your eyes is going to tell me exactly how you feel. So I looked her in the eye. Because at that point, I really wasn't paying attention. But when I heard her voice change, I said, okay, I'm not going to take her voice. I'm just going to look in her eye. So I looked in her eye. I said, oh, shit, you serious, right? She was like, yeah, Mike, it's just getting too much. But I don't know if I should say something. I said, look, let me stop you there. I said, you remember what happened with the last situation? I said, like, you saw how management carried the situation. I said, the one thing, I had a problem with that situation, and I said, I look at that manager differently. I said, if you didn't see nothing, then it didn't happen. I said, look, that will back any female in a corner. I said, but I'm going to tell you this now. If you don't say something now, it's going to get worse, and it's going to become a problem. Because what this manager does is, if you don't, and I notice the way he manages, if you don't take his unwanted sexual advances, whether joke or not, he tends to manage you differently. And I started noticing that. And I said to Mike, I said, man, Mike, this man ain't gonna last long. His style is different. I said, man, like, if he's been involved in this industry as long as he's been involved in this industry, then Jesus Christ, that's not how you make that move. So I said, you know what, you need to say something, right? And she left that conversation apprehensive. But when I seen her grab that AGA and walk down that hallway, I said, yes, yeah, say something. Fuck that nigga, right? Because at the end of the day, my mindset truly changed when Alex came. About the things that because I joke a lot. And at most times, I used to joke and I didn't think about the consequences I joke. It's a man thing. There's a small majority of men that make them crazy sexual jokes and they literally don't mean nothing back. And then there's a large majority of the men that make those sexual jokes, but they really are creeps.
But because there's a large amount, now
it
people are in small amount. Seems like they're in.
Yeah, so you really have to be.
Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be conscious.
So you just got to stop it.
Yeah, I know, but you got to be conscious.
There's no conscious of it, just stop it.
Being conscious is stopping it, is what I'm saying.
No, being conscious is like, I got to be conscious as to how I say this shit as a joke.
But my thing is,
just stopping it.
You notice in a lot of old men, right? And this is why I look at another manager crazy. Because I brought it up to him, right? And his response was, oh man, he just never worked at a job where he was around so many females.
That ain't got shit to do
That's creep behavior though. So you's a creep too. And I know this manager's a creep.
Y'all a bunch of creeps.
Not y'all. Them.
Y'all a bunch of creeps.
Them.
So why creep?
But no, seriously. As of Monday, he was terminated.
Oh.
Tuesday, he brought his keys in, and I heard he didn't say nothing to nobody. And you know tell how they fired him? They fired him over the phone. This same manager that I said if you didn't see it, it didn't happen, claims that 6 other women came forward complaining about him. And he didn't want last situation to become this situation.
That Me Too shit is real.
But I'm telling you,
but it's good.
That is a real problem in today's industry. I don't know
but it's good that people are now coming forward as it's happening. You get what I'm saying? Not waiting, wondering, well, if I don't say this, what's going to happen? If I do say it, then what's going to happen? It's good that people are coming forth and they have support. That was the biggest thing. People wasn't saying nothing because they was like, I'm not going to get the support. Then I'm going to get blackballed. And then, because being blackballed is real. So, that's good.
But somebody's
actually listening.
You also need men in this industry that aren't creeps to stand up for these women. Because they potentially can, it's harmful when you feel like so much activity has happened to the women and it's affecting them mentally. And when I looked in her eyes, I could clearly tell it was affecting her mentally, so much to the point that I don't even believe she was telling her fiance these things were happening, based off of she didn't want to jam him up. And she shouldn't want to be put in that situation. That's why it's so freaking important to respect life.
But it's so sweet that you said you wasn't like that until your daughter got here. That is so sweet. So he didn't give a damn about me, y'all. Just state the facts. Keep going, babe.
That's more toxic shit. Devil. Anyway, no, seriously though, like we need men in this industry to really stand up. And in so many words, man, you gotta let these niggas know when they're doing too much. Because he would walk around me and make comments about these hoes. Like, damn, shorty got a fat ass. And in the moment, I'm thinking it was a joke until you start hearing it. Oh, it's worse behind the scenes. You know, I mean, I'm talking about like if they get on, for example, if they get on the elevator, it's even harsher. Because a lot of this stuff was happening when they would get on the elevator to go upstairs.
And he get on it too?
And he's on there too, just making those crazy ass comments. Hey, look, man.
People built different when it comes to things.
Different.
Because we'd have been getting off that elevator and he'd have been like, ah!
Yeah.
Getting off the elevator, they'd be like, what happened? Punch that motherfucker square in the nose.
Yeah. But this has been another amazing podcast. Shout out to Sonyacomfortfood for the podcast meal that I'm gonna definitely finish.
You got sitting there.
Man, I was in my bag. So much to the point.
Your food is ice cold.
It's not ice cold, but it's lukewarm.
The fan was on.
It's lukewarm. Yeah, it's lukewarm. So tell us, babe, what did we have today?
That low vibration plate.
You're not telling me enough. People want to know what we had. What we had, bro?
I brought the food in here. You ain't even get a photo of it, of what it looked like to begin with. What the?
You ain't get one either. Oh no, never mind. Sonyacomfortfood got a photo, a video, and anything else you needed. Shit, I'll steal it from her page to show you exactly what we had. But what we had? What's on my plate right now?
Scraps.
That's more than scraps.
Not mixed in. So we had a cream spinach, chicken sausage, steak and shrimp. Like a stir fry. Creamy.
Over what?
Over rice.
Done the what way?
Your mama way. The Sonyacomfort way.
Thank you, God. And that's been another episode. Thank you for listening to episode 84 of the podcast. I am your motivator, personal trainer. This is the wife. This is how she got me, though. Oh, hell no. She put drugs in my food. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We out. Peace.